Well, hello to the three people who might actually watch this video. So this is just a quick, unscripted walkthrough of the Nuka-Land mod that I made a few weeks ago. It's mostly just for people I know who maybe don't have a PC gaming rig so they can't play it, or maybe people who have played the mod and got kind of lost or confused about what's going on. Plus a few kind of creators' notes about how things were made just for funsies. And yeah, I know the stupid trope of the player character talking to the camera. I know it's dumb as hell, but I didn't have anything to fill in for the intro here, so this is what you get. And lastly, yeah, for people who might have seen my other videos with the British voice, yeah, that's AI. This is my real voice. I don't like hearing it either, but I have to hear it every stupid day, so I guess you could listen to it for the 20 minutes that this will take. So without further ado, on to the video. So yeah, so the mod starts out here in Field Shack. If you go to your map, basically it's the closest area I could find to where I wanted to place the mod, which is up here in the northeast. I'll get to it in a little bit, but there's some reasons why I wanted to place it up here. But basically you go in here, Field Shack, and you'll run into a familiar face. This is Sierra from Fallout 3. So basically, yeah, she was a character who's really obsessed with Nuka-Cola. Thought it'd be fun to have her own adventure. So when I made this character, I basically scraped some audio from Fallout 3 and fed it into AI so I could synthesize her voice. So that's why she should sound roughly like the character from Fallout 3. Also, for her facial features, if you go into the GEC, the tool they use for making these mods, just basically, there's a big hexadecimal string that represents all of the character's facial features, so I just copied and pasted them, so she should look roughly like the character in the game. So anyway, let's talk to Sierra and see what she has to say. Yeah, so these are kind of funny, but basically it results in the same result. So yeah, so you can ask questions. Like this one is just a callback to Fallout 3 when she sent you to find bottles of Nuka-Cola Quantum. So we'll just skip to the point and yeah. Cool, yep. So that starts the quest. Also as a little bonus, if you have a high enough speech skill, you actually be able to recruit her, but in this case I don't. So you say, oh, you want to tag along? Yeah, but basically, yeah, if you can either convince her to join you as a companion now, or once you complete the quest, you can recruit her later. So, and yeah, in case you can hear it now, this is some Nuka-Cola music that I borrowed from some of the other games. Thought it'd be fun. Alright, on to Nuka-Land. So yeah, so these gates will be locked in a way that you can't open them until you start the quest. That's just kind of to gate things in the, I guess, literal sense. So you can't get into the area and start messing with quest progression without actually talking to her. So here you'll find your first new enemies. So these are the Nuka-Land security robots. Take them down. One over here. That happens sometimes. These robots get kind of wild. Ah, here we go. You're done. And yeah, so this Sunset Sarsaparilla gun is it's a weapon I made for another mod, just for fun. It has unlimited ammo, as you can see, so it's kind of convenient for just doing these test runs where you're kind of running around. So real quick, actually, let's queue up the quest real quick. Sap that thirst. So the quest marker sends you to the entrance, but when you get to the entrance, it'll basically pop up and say that you can't get in. You need like a guest pass to get in. So we go over here to get the guest pass. Well, let's do this real quick just to demonstrate how it works. So it'll trigger and say that you can't get in because it's locked. So the quest marker will lead you to the key. So we go on over here. So there's a boatload of ghouls in here, but we'll just cut to the chase. So if you go up here, yeah, this guy right here, feral Nuka-Cola tourist. So you can see they have the guest pass. They also have a holotape you can pick up that kind of explains some story. It's kind of neat. I used AI to make it because I didn't have time to write up a bunch of dialogue. Yeah, whatever. See, my aim isn't that good. Whatever. Yeah, you're done. Don't care about ammo, don't care about items. We're just here to get this done. Cool. So yeah, here you can see the entrance to Nuka-Land. Put a little bit of effort into this, want to make it look cool. I used the Nuka-Cola font from a Fallout 4 mod, so that was neat. Alright, so we make it to Nuka-Land. I don't know why that one mesh doesn't always load. I have the LOD configured for it, but anyway. So Nuka-Land, now we have a fast travel point. You can actually fast travel to this area right there, which is cool. Alright, so our next, what we're actually trying to do is get in here. This is the VIP room, but it is, of course, locked, so you gotta follow the quest marker over here. To the Nuka-Cade. Who's shooting at me? Yeah. Take care of that, take care of this guy. Yeah, so we'll check out the Nuka-Cade, then we'll do a little bit of a tour. So as soon as you walk in, this raider comes up to talk to you. I wanted to have him talk to you from where he's standing, but I couldn't get that to work, so. Cool, so he's got some, he wants to talk some smack, we talk some smack back. Trying to get in the VIP room. Of course not, yep. So you can reject it, but it'll just give you the option to resume it later, so whatever. Yeah, so for this character I used the Fall Talk tool, which lets you basically use voices from other Fallout games. This is actually the voice of the raider from Fallout 4. It seemed to work, so whatever. So this is the Nuka-Cade. I thought it kind of came together pretty well, you know, with these bathrooms and whatnot. A little bottle of Nuka-Cola Victory here, might need that later. But yeah, obviously I took the Vicky and Vince Casino and just kind of restructured it, put some things in, moved the doors around. Over here, walking around the Nuka-Land Raiders. But yeah, big bottle of Nuka-Cola Quantum in the middle. And then these arcade machines. I borrowed these assets from another mod. I got their permission for it. Thought it was kind of cool. But instead of whatever they had, like Captain Cosmos and Grognak, I just kind of slapped some Nuka-Cola theme stuff on here to make it fit the theme. I really like this with the little start game icon. It looks like a playable game. Of course, it's not. You know, I didn't have the time to make a full playable game within the mod. So, going here, there's the this little, looks like a birthday party was happening before the bombs dropped. Kind of cool. And then actually, do this real quick. We'll need this later, but this is a bottle of yeah, Sunset Sarsaparilla Contraband. We'll see that for one of the quests later. We'll pick it up now just for fun. Anyway, yeah, walking around here. So this is a little prize vault. There's I don't think I have the skill to pick that, but there's a lock safe. There's a bunch of Nuka-Cola prizes, including a Nuka-Cola hat, which is one of the assets I added for the mod. Anyways, what else is in here? Yeah, skee ball machine. So these were borrowed from, I think, Fallout 3's DLC Point Lookout. So these aren't in New Vegas, but I kind of reskinned them to look like that. Reskinned couches. And then over here, pinballs. These are in New Vegas. I just, yeah, reskinned them to look like Nuka-Cola. Bottle of Cola Quartz in the corner. So that's fun. Bunch of stuff around for people to loot, you know, Nuka-Cola themed loot. Anyway. So yeah, so that's the Nuka-Cade. That would come out here. Yeah, let's figure I'll give a quick tour of the area. So here's a little pool. The idea is it's kind of like a resort area for, you know, parents to watch their kids splash around or whatever before the war. If you go over here, there's a holotape. Kind of goes into like a family on the vacation and kind of, at first they're kind of complaining about the service not being so great, and then the bombs drop and they realize how lucky they've been living in a good life. Bunch of Nuka-Cola machines because someone complained there weren't enough of them. Oh yeah, what's over here? So made a bunch of rides. These are, I think, Repcon rockets, and then I took like I think it's a great content and just took the sides off of it so it looks like a circus tent. and grabbed the flooring from the Brotherhood of Steel. Made a little like ride you could walk around in here. The rides don't move obviously, but it's just just for just for display. Should be able to walk through there, I think. Yeah. These are the bumper cars from Point Lookout. This is a robot shooting at me. I'll get to him in a minute. These are bathrooms borrowed from that Legion camp. I forget what it's called. Where is this? Whatever. Come back to it later. And we have the merry-go-round. This is the Giddy Up Buttercup. I thought it worked pretty well as a little merry-go-round. There's probably the first one of those that I made. Then lastly, there's I think this one's motorcycles. You can see, it's a little motorcycle. Just trying to fill this in with a few rides. Oh, and then over here is the well, this is the House of Horrors. We'll go to that later. That's kind of fun. Let's see here. This was the bumper cars. Again, board from Point Lookout. I thought it looked kind of cool. Yeah, whatever. So over here, there's another holotape. This is, someone who is trying to hold out against the mobs, trying to take down the robots. It's kind of fun. There's a good line of dialogue, and there's something. Let's pull it up real quick. What's it? Miscellaneous bumper car building. Used to love theme parks, blah blah blah. But I like this at the end. If I ever make it out, I'm going to burn this place to the ground. I thought that's fun. Again, AI came up with that. That was not me. Cool. All right. So right now our goal. So we're trying to get into the Nuka VIP room, but in order to get that, we need the key. So there's actually two options. You can kill the raider, but if you do, then it locks you out of another quest. So he asked you to go over here and take care of this VIP room, or sorry, the admin building. This is where they have a computer that controls the robots. Hopefully, I'll be able to do this without dying. So apparently if you crouch, you can actually walk under here. Oh, look at that. It does work. Cool. So over here on the computer is some more logs, but there's a gun over here that'll shoot at you, so we're not going to mess with that. Basically, you just need to go upstairs. Of course, I get stuck behind the door. Just run past all these guys. Yeah, so you can steal this terminal password. That way you can unlock the terminal without any trouble. And I'm probably going to die, but yeah. Alright, so here we go. Deactivate the robots. Cool. Yeah. Let's hide for a minute while they despawn. Yeah, so basically, as soon as you hit that, it's like within a few seconds, everything should despawn. Actually, we'll come back for that later, just for fun. We're here. Let's grab it now. So over here is a bottle of Nuka-Shine. We'll use that for a quest later. And then over here is another Sunset Sarsaparilla. Grab that too, so we don't have to come back. Yeah, so now, if you go to this terminal, there's a bunch of log entries just kind of fill more with the lore, kind of explain, starting before the war and, kind of the humdrum life in the park. And then, obviously, when the bombs drop and everybody's fending for themselves, flesh out the world a little bit. Get a little bit of loot over here. I think there's this one should have some stuff in it. Break room has some stuff. As you can see, I just took the NCRCF admin building and restructured it a little bit, moved the door around and changed the decorations a little bit. I did that with a few of these interiors just because it takes so much time to set them up. All right, so we've now shut off the robots, and we are going to go talk to the raider, get our key. So a little tip here, just again to fill in the world a little bit. Once you get into the robots, a 5-minute timer starts, and after that 5-minute timer, rats will spawn in the map. And the purpose of that is, so you have a little bit more going on. It's just not an empty park. And really just kind of lore-wise, the idea that without the robots to keep things orderly, you start getting, the wildlife, they start taking over the park again. All right, talk to our raider friend. I did. Cool, got the VIP pass. Up to the VIP room. So this is the main quest. There's 2 more side quests. We'll show them here in a minute. So this is supposed to be kind of the main reward of the quest is you get access to this new player home. This again is borrowed from Fallout 3. If you interact with it, you can actually put in your normal Nuka-Colas and get ice cold ones, which give you more health or whatever. Just kind of a little fun thing. This is really meant to be, like I said, premier player home. So first off, you've got a view of the park, which is kind of cool. This is actually done. This is sort of a trick. So the park is implemented in its own world space for kind of performance reasons. It simplifies level of detail, meshes, and stuff like that. So this is actually what we're in now. We're actually in the main world space. You can look out and see, like you can see the Lucky 38 out in the distance and Nellis Air Force Base, stuff like that. So this is actually like a miniature mock-up of the park just for you to view from the hotel room or the VIP room. The idea is like it looks really cool. One thing I haven't done yet is I'm going to put in fast travel points for your companions, so that when you send them, instead of sending them back to the Lucky 38, you can send them here. That way, this works perfectly as a player home. So that's why I put this in the main map up here. It's out of the way enough that level of detail problems aren't really an issue because you don't really come up here much anyway. But you also don't have to travel to another map like you do in the Old World Blues DLC. I forget what they call it. The Sink is like a really cool player home, but you have to leave the main map. You have to leave your companions behind. It's kind of annoying. So this is like, it's in the main map, has everything you need. Your companions can eventually be sent here, like all the good stuff. And there's an example of that. So if you go over here, you've got both of your workbenches, so you can, reloading bench, whatever. And then over here is a camp. Basically, it's a campfire. So there's a holotape that explains it. Nuka plate operating instructions. And then when you activate it, you can use it just like a campfire to make food and stuff like that. So it's kind of cool. You got your fridge, again, kind of everything you need. Here's a room. This is supposed to be like kind of an office. So if you go over here, this is the first of 3 power armors you get in this mod. So the Nuka-Cola Quantum Power Armor. Let's put that on real quick just to showcase it. This is from another mod that I made, so just disregard that. Took me forever to get this working, by the way. So I'm running the Titans of the New West mod because everybody seems to use it. You might hear the clanking of my character's footsteps right now. Kind of annoying, but anyway, this is what the armor looks like. Kind of cool. I dig it. It was actually a fan request. I made another armor, and they said, "Oh, can you make quantum armor?" Like, all right, cool. Here's quantum armor. So we'll just stash that here for now because the noise of the feet stomping around is annoying. Let's see here. Drop that one too. Bathroom, not much to see here, but it looks fancy. Whatever. There's a bit of loot around. There's bottles and stuff. There's a bunch of cool stuff over here if you want, Duke of Quartz or Atomic Cocktail, whatever. But the big thing you want is over here. This is the bedroom. I'm going to actually sleep real quick. Nuka Girl bed, kind of fun. Sleep for an hour just to get some health back. But yeah, here's the grand prize. That's the thing you're actually looking for. I think there's anything much else. Oh yeah, there's a few things here. So this is the Nuka Girl rocket suit. So this is another reward you get. And this is a thirst zapper, which similarly is a kind of an infinite ammo laser gun. Just kind of makes it easier. But here is the rocket suit as a little showcase. You can see, looks kind of like the rocket suit from Fallout 4. Kind of cool, whatever. That one was actually kind of annoying to make because I had to take like 3 or 4 different armor sets and cut different pieces of them off to make them fit. I'm going to sleep till it's morning just so it's easier to see. Alright, cool. Should be daytime. Yeah, we can actually fast travel directly to Sierra from here. So, there you go. Yeah, so she teaches you Nuka-Cola recipes, so now you can basically craft all of the variants of Nuka-Cola plus, was it Nuka Shine? Yeah, you can craft your own Nuka Shine, and I think it was like Mojave. It was a variant of the Mississippi Quantum Pie. It's like Mojave Quantum Pie. Really just so you can sell them. The idea is like, oh, now you can craft your own stuff and sell them to make some money. So now you see she's got her own rocket suit, which is the quantum variant. It's blue and purple. And now that you've done her quest, you can recruit her as a companion. Yeah, I think we'd be a good team. So, yeah, so I don't know if the games ever use that Nuka-Pal thing, but it sounded fun, so I threw it in there. Yeah, so now she comes along with you. Actually, let me check real quick. Weapons. Yeah, Thirst Sapper, yeah. So she gives you a bonus to Nuka-Cola themed weapons and Nuka-Cola themed armor. So you basically get bonus. Actually, let's just look at the perk. Nuka-Cola Fan Club. Yeah, so you deal more damage with Nuka-Cola themed weapons, and you get bonus damage threshold when you're using Nuka-Cola armor. So like the power armor, stuff like that. So with that, let's go back to Nuka-Land and look at those other two quests. So we'll do both of these at once just because it's a little bit easier. Both of them kind of have you run around the world, or the Nuka-Land a little bit. Why, she has dialogue too. So this is one thing I haven't figured out. Sometimes they spawn in like random places. So like she was over there for some reason. Alright, so first up, let's talk to this guy. So in the gift shop, there is a robot. And if you have 60 repair, you can repair him. So we're just going to do that now. Player.set AV science 60, I think. I misspelled it. That'll happen. Cool. Repair the robot. Okay.
Guests travel from around the nation to relax and recuperate right here in Nuka-Land.
So basically, the idea is that this is a robot who got knocked out or something during their bombs dropping and doesn't realize it's been 200 years, or kind of confused. So when you talk to him, he thinks you're his new employee. Yeah, so you can talk smack to him a little bit. I like that bit of dialogue. I thought it was fun. Let's rock. So that's the joke, is the contraband is bottles of Sunset Sarsaparilla. Obviously, you don't want your competitors' product, in your park. It'd be like Coca-Cola being the Pepsi store or whatever. So that's what he's setting you out to get, is these bottles of Sunset Sarsaparilla. I think we've already picked up like 2 of them. Meanwhile, we'll also talk to the raider here. He's got a quest for us too. Yeah, so he wants bottles of vintage Nuka-Shine, which, by the way, are different from the craftable Nuka-Shine. So you can make the stuff yourself, but it's not vintage. The idea is vintage is pre-war. All right, so I think the rats must have spawned in now. Yep, there they are. So these are the rats that... Oh, looks like they took down Sierra. Yeah, she'll be fine. Yeah, she'll get up in a minute. Yeah, so those rats spawn in after you take out the robots. Whatever. Pick a perk. Sure. If anyone sees this video, they'll critique me that whatever perk I picked was the wrong one, but whatever. All right, so we need. Oh, she has it.
What I miss?
Yeah, some good dialogue there. Quests. So Nuka-Shine Jamboree is find the bottles of Nuka-Shine. Clean up the neighborhood is to find the bottles of... Yeah, so let's start with the bottles of Sunset Sarsaparilla. So I know there's one over here. Yeah. So when I regret having those rats because they just get in the way. Again, something to kill, something to keep you entertained. So you can usually jump up here. Yeah, there we go. That's a storage room. That's where you'll go later when this quest is done. So yeah, a little Nuka coaster. And then the bottle is right here. Nothing else here, just a couple of corpses. Cool, so that's that one, and then... yeah, there's one over here. Yeah, so this is just the El Diablo coaster from Prim, just reskinned to look like Nuka-Cola. And yeah, that's just a Ferris wheel from Point Lookout again, reskinned to look like Nuka-Cola Quantum. And then over here is what our next... What you talking about? Got something to say? Anybody else? Yeah. That was my fault. I put him there anyway. Alright, yeah, another bottle of contraband. I think there's one more. I think this is in the bathroom, if I recall. Yeah. Yeah.
Take that.
Yes, the bottle should be. I think it's in this little box. Yeah, there we go. So that's all the contraband. So let's go back to gift shop. Talk to the robot again. Here you go. Yeah, so I forgot to mention, so this character I used full talk. For this one I used the Codsworth voice model, so he sounds kind of like Codsworth from Fallout 4. Also, I record it, so basically I speak in the microphone and then it would convert it into his voice. But I did that with like a crummy microphone and a fan running, which is probably why it sounds all staticky, but he's a robot, so it kind of works. Don't care. Alright, so we're doing... cleaning up the neighborhood. So now we got to deal with the rats. So there's some rats around. These are different from the other ones. The other rats we fought so far don't count towards the quest. These ones only spawn when the quest is active. And you'll see there'll be 3 rats. One will be smaller than the others. The small one is the one that counts towards the quest. The other 2 are just kind of to fill it in and give you a little bit more to shoot at. The Nuka-Shine Jamboree. So let's look at Nuka-Shine Jamboree. I know there's a bottle of Nuka-Shine in the lodge. And there's also some rats to kill in the lodge. So let's do that first. Oh yeah, these are the rats that spawn out here. I love when that happens. Yeah. Good job, Sierra. Alright. Run into the Nuka Lodge. Oh yeah, and this, you'll actually get to see a bit more of the Nuka Lodge in here. This is kind of cool. So this is basically just Jacobstown with a few changes. So you can see, there's a bit of decoration over here, and then over here, where you normally find Dr. Henry, there's a little lounge. So this is the first of our rats that we have to kill. These are the ones that actually count towards the quest. Should be a little one. Yeah, this, I think it's... must be, yeah, this one. See, Nuka-Land vermin, those are the ones that actually count towards the quest. If you go in here, it's supposed to be like a little, bar, snack area. There's, registers that presumably have money in them and stuff. Yeah, sometimes you get these little glitches that happens. Yeah, there's some loot around. Just kind of supposed to look cool. So that we killed the rat, and now we gotta go get the bottle of Nuka-Shine, which is on the 2nd floor. Back here somewhere. Yeah, over here by the pinball machines. You see it's down there. It's normally up here, but it must have gotten knocked down. But yeah, so you see right over by the pinball machine. Cool. Alright. Heading back out. I don't know why she's still standing here. There is a nav mesh in that room, so there's no reason for her to get stuck. There's a nav mesh out here, too. Yeah, get him. Good job. Fast travel back in Nuka-Land. Oh yeah, Nuka-Land, lots of fun. All right. So I think what's it? It's probably the other restroom.
Take
Nope,
that.
it's this one. Cool. So that's our second Nuka-Land vermin.
Take that, Nuke.
Yeah, get him. So the big thing is the House of Horrors. There's a bottle of Nuka Shine and there's a couple rodents in here, but there's a trick. So for this, I was trying to give a sense of kind of horror. When I originally made the mod, you'd enter through this door, but there was a door over there that you'd use to exit. It was supposed to be like, supposed to be a sense of dread that you get in and now you can't find your way out. But the people just thought it was a glitch. They got confused. So I said, all right, we'll simplify it. So basically, you get a warning when you go in. You won't be able to walk immediately out. Solve the riddle of the House of Horrors. You go in. So what happens is when you walk in here, there's a trigger that gets activated, and now this door is locked, so you can't go out unless you find
Where
a
the
key.
House of Horrors? The only thing scary in here is the smell.
Yeah, you tell them, Sierra. All right, over here is again another holotape that kind of explains the lore. People trapped in here when the bombs dropped, and slowly get turned into ghouls, which is why there's ghouls everywhere. So the ghoul you need to kill to get the key is over here. There's a, again, glowing ghoul. I think he has a name like superintendent or something. Yeah, supervisor. You're done.
Ouch. That hurt.
Grab the key. Cappy's key. But the other thing in here is, yeah, there's the radiation poisoning. Don't care. So this is where the bottle of vintage Nuka-Shine is. There it is. Cool. There's a bunch of rads in that building. I probably should have tuned that down a little bit, but whatever. Here's our third round of rats, if I recall. There we go. Heading out. Do some rat away real quick, I guess. I don't have rat away. Whatever. All right. What else was there? So we grabbed the Nuka Shine from there. Which quest are we on? Yeah, Nuka Shine. All right. So one was over here. Where is that pointing to? It might have been. Oh, I remember where this one is. Never mind. Yeah. This one over here by the Ferris wheel. Yeah, this is the one when I first made the mod, it was glitched out because it was over here, but you couldn't actually. Well, I was told you couldn't walk over here, but it looks like you can. I don't know. But anyway, I moved it over here. There's another bottle. Cool. Let's see here. Last one. Was it in this bathroom? I guess it was. Must have missed it earlier. Ah, yeah, it's in the corner. That's right. So that's our last bottle of vintage Nuka Shine. Now we got to return over here. Yeah, so originally this was like he'd give you the key and you just go get the armor, but I thought it'd be more fun to have a bit of a battle. So basically, one of his guys, grabs the key and then well, yeah. So the prize is you get a set of power armor. But yeah, originally it was you just go get it from a locked chest, and now you have to fight somebody for it. So he's supposed to spawn up there, but for some reason he always winds up over here. Not really sure why. I'll have to go in the GEC later and check it. So he's probably right over here. There he is. First time I fought him, I accidentally shot the gun out of his hands, then he just ran away. Alright, yeah, he's done. Yeah, so this is the second set of power armor. Yeah, you can get ballistic fists and minigun and stuff like that. A couple bottles of Nuka-Shine, just for fun. Oh yeah, there's some power armor. Hollow tape. Whatever. More energy weapons, don't care. Alright, so this is the, like I said, second set of armor. Parallel. So you can see this is just supposed to be Nuka-Shine armor. So I was trying to model this off the one from Fallout 76, but it was kind of boring, so I just kind of did my own thing. So Nuka-Shine label on the front, it's kind of gold highlights on the sides. Probably the best set of T-45 armor you're going to see, because no one really likes the T-45 from what I can tell. Anyway, it's cool. It's armor. Oh yeah, and each of these has their own benefit. So this one I think is bonus to unarmed. The idea of like Nuka-Shine, generally alcohol gives you increased strength for fighting with your bare hands, so you know it's unarmed bonus. I think the quantum armor we found before, I think it's bonus to energy weapons if I recall. Anyway, all right. So last quest, finish that one up. Cleaning up the neighborhood, kill the last few rats. Where are they? Oh yeah, they're in the admin building, so we got to go over here. Yeah, I guess we'll just do it this way. And I put all these debris things in just to break up the space, otherwise it looks kind of wide open, and it also prevents you from, like, you know, taking the shortcuts over on the side there. Puts to block you in, so you have to kind of navigate a little bit instead of just going directly. Just to kind of expand on the experience a little bit. Alright, going in here. Last few rats. Cool. Last of the rats. Turn to the Nuka Man. Alright. Over here, yeah. Cool. So that's the quest. There was one more, there's a couple fun bits of dialogue, but I think it was, oh! But yeah, let's do this first. So yeah, so he sells things. The idea was he sells magazines, which are kind of useful and fit the theme of you know, kind of a kid-oriented theme park. Also, he sells all the Nuka-Cola variants. You can get those, so kind of cool. And then, oh yeah, this one. So I disabled the protectorons. This was there. Yeah, there we go. Always preferred the taste of sunset sarsaparilla. So yeah, a little bit of fun dialogue. I was happy with that. Alright, so yeah, that's basically it. Basically, the Mr. Handy there gives you a key for the storage room. Probably one downside to here is it doesn't really tell you where the storage room is, so probably could label that better, but all the way in this southeastern corner. Yeah, so now we can unlock the door. So this is supposed to be a little jump scare because the robots, right? This one is a deactivated one. He doesn't do anything, but it's just to surprise you when you walk in the door. Yeah, so just trunks with stuff in them, whatever. But the big thing is in the back here. So there is a set of Nuka-Cola power armor. There's a hollow tape. It's basically shipping manifest. It's supposed to tie into Fallout 4 of, you know, Project Cobalt or whatever. Nuka launcher. So the Nuka-Cola power armor. This was the first set that I made when I got into modding. I'm sure there's some other loot in here, but it doesn't really matter. So yeah, I'm going. And yeah, this is just the Black Mountain storage room kind of redone slightly. But yeah, we come out here. Put the set of armor on. Color power. Yeah, so this, yeah, it's not modeled after the one from Fallout 4/76. So this one gives you a bonus to explosives, I think, because it was supposed to pair with the Nuka launcher. So then you take Nuka launcher out, you can just do stuff like this. Kind of fun. Boom. All right, anyway, yeah, I think that's kind of it. That's all I really had to show for this mod. So anyway, hope people play it, hope they enjoy it. If not, that's cool too. Might expand on it later. But anyway, yeah, thanks for watching.